Hey guys, sorry it's been a while, but well, we had the holidays, and then my family got sick, and nothing serious. But nowadays, when people get sick, they actually stay home, um, which grows up my schedule as far as time that I get to do these videos. So it's been a while. I have gone to the comic book store, I think twice. And I actually need to cut down a bit because I had to trade in my car and get a new car to better fit the family, and I haven't had a car payment in like 5 or 6 years, so not as much money to be going and buying booster packs and comic books and entertainment things like that. So these are all books I picked up before the car purchase, and this is kind of an impromptu filming area. I'm currently going through my magic cards and filtering down things. I have all my collection in these boxes that came and currently come with the fat packs, and each individual color, I probably had 8 or 9 of those boxes full. And when building decks, it was getting a little hectic having to go through 8 or 9 boxes for a specific color, and filtering through things, seeing the same card 50 times, not remembering if I put that card in my pile of prospective hundreds. So what I've done for the last few weeks here is basically I've taken everything out and I just make piles. So this is a pile of creatures. I've already gone through the spells and enchantments in green, and right now I'm filtering through the last creatures in green. And I basically just go through all 9 boxes and put them in a category. So enchantments, instant sorceries, creatures, sagas when we have them, which is rare. And then what I do is I filter them further by, mana value, and eventually I get to a point where I'm filtering it by card. So I've gotten rid of quite a few cards. I have a pile going. And if you watch Talarian Community College, he recently had a video about starting a magic club at school. And there is a charity that basically takes, what we would consider chafe and bulk cards, and they send them out to schools so that they can start their own magic clubs and use them for things like math. Because, playing games is a very good way to teach younger children math. Like my daughter used to be horrible at math, just basic addition, and just having her do things like Monopoly, adding the dice numbers together, working with quote unquote money. She's much better at it now. Now instead of not wanting to play Monopoly because there was math involved, she will do that. She'll ask for it on her own. So I'm putting all the extras together, and basically I'll be sending these out to the charity once I have everything sorted. Right now I'm probably up to over 1,000 cards put aside to be sent, because I'm going through, and if a card's been reprinted multiple times, I'm trying to hang on to maybe 3 or 4 copies at a max. Because realistically, even if I'm making commander decks, like regular bulk commons, you're not going to be needing. What are the chances you're going to put a Gravedigger in 3 different commander decks? Like 0. I don't think he's in one of my commander decks right now, yet I had like 30 copies of that card because it was reprinted in, so many core sets and other things. core set cards, like 8th and 9th edition, because I just love the white frame. And, you would end up with a lot of the same cards. So, going through those, and if there's alternate art, I'll try to keep one of each art, things like that. But at the same time, I still run into huge amounts of duplicates. The colors I've gone through so far, I've normally gotten rid of up to 2 boxes of each color. So, taking it from like 8 down to 6, which is much more manageable space-wise. After green, the most daunting color I have to go through is white, which is the last one. I've saved it for last because I am a white planeswalker at heart. So I have a huge amount of white cards. I think I have almost 10 boxes of white cards to go through when the time comes, hopefully in the next week or so. But in the meantime, let's take a look at what we have comic book wise. As you can see here, we have Thor Issue 20, Part 2 of God of Hammers. I read Part 1. This Donny Cates Thor run it's been good. I mean, the art's good, the stories are good. It's not anything that I'm rushing to read, so I am, kind of juggling that one in my head. Thor is one of those, main characters that I've always stuck with. I actually have a Thor tattoo of Mjolnir. So, to drop Thor, it's a hard one to to come to grips with, so I'll see what we do here. I'm not sure how long Donny Cates here is supposed to be on Thor. He did get off of Venom, and Al Ewing took that over, but I don't know if, and then, obviously he's doing Hulk now, but, yeah, I'm wrestling with this one, so, let's see, next we have the Magic Order. This happens to be issue 3. I think we also have issue 2 in here. I haven't started reading this one yet, simply because I'm a big fan of the first Magic Order series, and I want to save it for, so I can do it in one sitting. If you've never read it, it's very much like an adult Harry Potter is the best way that I put it normally towards people. And, I don't know if the first series, it made you want to go get a wand, kind of like if you were, a kid reading Harry Potter back in the days. Harry Potter came out when I was in, high school, college, so I don't have much the same affinity for it as somebody that age group, but, this will make you want to go get a wand and run around. Next we have Sir Edward Grey, Acheron, I believe is how it's pronounced. This looks to be a one-shot. Sir Edward Grey is the 18th century witch finder. Basically works for the Queen of England, tracking down weird and supernatural things. It's a very good series. I do highly recommend almost anything under the Hellboy banner. So if you happen to see this one, it's probably worth a pickup. Next we have Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, issue 6 of 8. This has been interesting so far. Mainly picking it up because of Tom King. The artwork is interesting, and the story itself has been interesting also. It's basically Supergirl ferrying this alien girl through the cosmos for a revenge against someone, and it's been very, I just don't know where it's going, to tell you the truth. It, with Strange Adventures by Tom King, that was a kind of I'm going to use the term murder mystery, and you knew kind of what we were leading up to. Same thing with the um, Rorschach miniseries that he did. Again, a bit of a murder mystery. This one is a bit different, and it's been interesting. I give Tom King a lot of credit for his Batman work, and so I've been picking this up basically on his name alone. So we'll see where it goes. Next we have Inferno by Jonathan Hickman, which I think is wrapping up his X-Men story. I have not started this one either because I do want to sit down and read it all at once because his stuff tends to be somewhat dense, so I do want to make sure that I have the time and I'm in the right frame of mind to sit down and read the end to his X-Men run. I just find it weird that he, started that run, went on for a while, and then all of a sudden we had a new writer, and now he's back for this kind of closing chapter. Hellboy, the Silver Lantern Club. Basically my saver at this stage in my life is a few keys from Marvel and DC and Hellboy stuff. So, almost anything under the Hellboy banner is in my saver. I think at one point I told them just to give me everything Mike Mignola, but that has been beyond their ability. So I do occasionally have to keep a watch and make sure that I get everything. So sometimes I miss side miniseries and things like Lady Baltimore I missed out on, unfortunately. This is Batman Catwoman issue 9, I believe, out of 12. Again, a miniseries by Tom King. The miniseries by Tom King, quite honestly, the only DC I am picking up at this point. I don't know if, for those in the know, DC recently has been very, I don't know, they're going through one of those phases again where they try to do away with their legacy, big name characters like the Wonder Womans and the Batmans and the Supermen of the DCU, which is honestly most of the time it's because they want to not pay like Siegel and Schuster's families, or not pay Bob Kane and to an extent Bill Finger's families, because I think now that Bill Finger gets a byline, I'm sure his family sees something. But every now and then they tend to try to, it's like, oh, there's a new Batman, a new Superman, because we don't want to pay those people anymore. It's very destructive to their brand. I find it incredibly stupid and short-sighted. Throw some money at those families and shut the hell up. You've made billions of dollars off of them. Recently I saw a news article about how they're planning to kill off the Justice League. And, the shot they had was it looked like caskets for Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. And they had, and Aquaman too, I believe. And they had, Aqualad and Jonathan Kent, Superman, and these others standing there. And it's like, look, for a good amount of time with things like JSA, you were building up those legacy characters. And I would have gone along with that, but you have not done that recently. You basically just got thrown into Future State, and they expected us to latch on to these characters. And that's not a very good way of doing world building. So, main DC stuff, I'm just not reading. I've not bought a Superman issue since the end of the Bendis run, which obviously on its own was not very great. I've not bought a issue of Batman since Tom King left the title. And, Flash for me hasn't been good since Jeff Johns. I tried to read some of the Williamson. I just didn't find it very good. Green Lantern hasn't been good since Jeff Johns. I read some of the Venditti, which was comic book fun, but it wasn't, it wasn't anything I was going to need to revisit. And honestly, same thing with Aquaman. Aquaman. Jeff Johns did a rebirth, great, amazing line of Aquaman, and then they let it go again. So I am very much not in the buying of DC at this point. I get these Tom King miniseries, and when they end, that's going to be it for me in DC. Smartly for them, they've let him continue doing what he wants, and they've let him do a few different miniseries, like this Human Target miniseries. And heck, I'm not even a fan of Human Target necessarily, but I'm picking it up on Tom King's name and his ability. When I saw this in my saver, I was like, shit, I thought I was out. Because Supergirl and, Supergirl's coming up to an end. This Batman Catwoman is. Strange Adventures just ended, and so did Rorschach. So, I thought I was on my way out of buying any DC, but then they introduce another miniseries every few weeks. This one is the Sword of Hyperborea, which is a offshoot of a story that went through BBRD with this character who found this sword from an ancient civilization, and it basically kind of de-evolved him to an extent to like a caveman mentality, and he would have flashbacks to this civilization that was, he was somehow connected to with this sword. So interested to see honestly how many issues this is. It says number 1 on the front, but I don't know. Dark Horse right now is like Hellboy stuff and nothing else. Especially since Stan Sakai went to IDW with his Usagi, so it's interesting to see what they put out every month, because it's like 50% Hellboy, and I worry about them to an extent. Next we have Hellboy, The Bones of Giants, which has these just horribly interesting little dwarfs here. That's just so, I don't know, I can see that on a Magic card. That just looks cool, doesn't it? Idea, honestly, for Magic the Gathering Secret Lair. Get some Mignola style artwork. I would buy that. I'd buy a hell of a lot of them more than the just released or pre-order. They did a what are those called? Astrological sign lands. And the first one is Capricorn. I happen to be a Capricorn. So I was like, oh, let me check this out. 5 swamps with the same artwork on them for $30. Are you kidding me? Are you trying to jack, are you trying to lose money on this? And they're going to do one like for every astrological symbol. Do you think anyone wants to buy 5 basic lands for $30? I don't care. I mean, the art was not even that good. Art is very specific to people, but even if it was the best looking swamps, which honestly don't even match up with the astrological symbol, what are you doing? When I heard the announcement, I was thinking, oh, I'll get, maybe a playset of each land with something Capricornish on it, but no, just 5 swamps. It's like, what a slap in the face. Anyways, now that I don't have as much money because of the car, guess who's not going to get that much money out of me? Wizard Secret Lairs. I ordered, I think, 2 or 3 in the last 2 years, and that's probably where it's going to be. And next up we have Moon Knight number 6. Moon Knight's been okay. It hasn't been amazing, but it hasn't been horrible either. I'm a old school Moon Knight fan. I have all his number 1 issues. I do not have the first appearance, unfortunately, in Werewolf by Night, but I have every number 1 that has Moon Knight I've picked up. And recently had the teaser trailer for the Disney Plus show with Oscar Isaacs, which was interesting. I found it to be a little, I don't know, he was playing a little too, maybe this is just me, I never liked the Jackie Chan movies, because he always played like a bumbling doofus that got himself into these situations, and he was never like action star. I've always, I grew up in the 80s, I want action star, I don't want like bumbling around, accidentally doing kung fu. I'd like you to be like Bruce Lee. And Oscar Isaacs to me came off kind of like a Jackie Chan bumbler in that trailer a little bit. But I'll be interested to see what they do with it. I'm very behind on the Disney Plus Marvel series, by the way. I've watched Captain America Winter Soldier, or Bucky, damn it, what was it called? Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I watched that when I was homesick for a while. I have not watched Loki yet. I watched a couple episodes of WandaVision, but honestly just lost interest in it and did not finish it. I know I have to watch Loki, and I also, I never got around to, because we didn't have it for a long time, I never watched Daredevil on Netflix, because for the longest time we did not have Netflix, and we got it this past year, but, with 2 children and a wife and a full-time job, it is hard to find time to binge watch, something, especially with the amount of professional wrestling I'm watching. So I know I have to watch Loki, and Hawkeye just came out. I haven't even finished The Mandalorian, so no spoilers. Next up, we have Amazing Spider-Man 82 and also 83. Oh Lord! And since it's bi-weekly, we have some issue 84. I probably have 85. Yeah, oh gosh, I have 81 in here too. So, I started picking up Amazing Spider-Man again because I am a old school fan of the Ben. Damn it, what is his name? DeBloom, last name there. But when they did the Clone Saga and Ben stepped in for Peter because Peter was going to go with Mary Jane and have a family, and they did I believe it was the Spectacular Spider-Man was the name of the title when he became the main character in the title. Basically, they brought him back and they put him in the same sort of situation. So I am picking up Amazing Spider-Man to see what they do with his character. Unfortunately, it is bi-weekly, and I have not really been a fan of the direction the Spider-Man books have gone since One More Day. This is issue 80. So, I'm giving it a chance when I get a chance and sit down and actually read all these. If it looks like it's going down the wrong path for me, then I will probably drop it, because it is such a money sink to be agreeing to 2 issues per month. That seems a little silly to me. The writing teams are on a changing schedule, so you'll have one person write for a while and then another. And also, I don't like these. Here, let me lift this up for a sec. See, in the corner it has 80 and then it has 80 beyond. I hate crap like that. Straight up, anybody of Marvel's listening, just give me the damn regular. I don't want to have to buy they started doing that with the last Spider-Man series when they had the Craven's Hunt storyline. They had like 80.1. Don't. Okay. says 80 PEY, I'm putting it back. Here we have Magic Order number 2. Again, I don't know what's going on these covers because I haven't started reading it, but it looks interesting, right? There's a kid on fire. Kind of reminds me of the a character from BBRD. Here we have Sir Edward K. Etron. I wonder if, gosh, I hope this isn't two of the same issue, because we had that issue of Etron, but it didn't have there was no number on the front. There's no number on the front of this either. I'm gonna hope that this isn't that I didn't pick this up twice and get two different covers. Without the numbering on the front, I'm confused now. I've confused myself because I haven't looked at these books. Human Target Book 2. I did read Book 1. It was interesting enough for me to pick up the series and, Tom King. So, Human Target's not a big DC character. I know he had his own show for a while, but that was because the Human Target basically has no powers and it was cheap to make, which I think we all know is the reason that got greenlit. Hellboy, Bones of Giants number 2. Again, look at this artwork. This could be on a Magic card and it would be a sweet, alternate art. Hell, do a whole freaking set, because, Mignola's not even doing some of this. This is guys that are kind of crimping his style. Do a whole set like that. I'd buy the crap out of that. We have Daredevil 36, which has been very good with Zdarsky, so I'm keeping that in my bowl. Right now, I think with my Marvel bowl it's Spider-Man, Daredevil, Thor, this Inferno miniseries, and I think that's it. Oh, and Moon Knight, because I'm a sucker for Moon Knight. Inferno number 3, which looks awesome. Hopefully, I don't know how long Inferno's supposed to be, but hopefully it really finishes up, and I don't expect me to keep reading regular X-Men, because I'm not going to. Usagi Yojimbo number 24 from IDW in color. Again, I do not like the color as much as the black and white with Dark Horse, but to each their own. Lord, we have more Spider-Man. I really need to sit down and read this. Amazing Spider-Man number 79. I noticed the last 5 or 6 issues have been written by this Ziegler fellow who I've never heard of. So hopefully it's not garbage. If it's hot garbage, I'll let you guys know. Hellboy Silver Lantern Club number 2. Look, that could be a spider with reach. Ideas. We have Thor, Gods of Hammers. I thought I read the first part of this storyline. Maybe it was that. I guess maybe it was a filler in between issue, the one with Odin, Thor, and Angela, and Freya. Maybe that was officially a fill-in issue before Gods of Hammers starts. We have Supergirl number 5. This is the young woman that she's having this adventure with. A very Spidey-esque cover for Moon Knight number 5 by Steve McNiven. I love his artwork. I think for a while he was on Moon Knight when they kicked it off again with, I forget the name of the guy who was writing it at the time. It was 4 series ago for Moon Knight, because Moon Knight has a new series every year that eventually comes to an end. But I remember McNiven was doing the covers and it was gorgeous. And finally we have Usagi Dragon Pillow Conspiracy. So I think I mentioned this a couple times before. This is IDW doing a reprint issues or trades, which I do, then this might be for you. I do like the artwork on the cover. The guy, whoever's been doing the covers for these, shout out, because I love your artwork, but at the same time, I don't need to buy the same Usagi story multiple times. So I initially thought this was a mini-series. It is a reprint. You can tell because Usagi inside is drawn differently than he is now. The Stan's artwork has changed over the years, and I bought issue 6 because I believe it is the last part of this story. I've already put issues, I think 2 through 5 on a pile to be given away, because I am still trying to cut down what I have collection-wise, and apart from the cover of number 1, which I just loved the image of Usagi on the cover. Apart from that, I don't need I have Usagi trade paperbacks. I have this story, I think, in one of those. There's no need to reprint it and sell it to me in color, guys. So, anyways, that is it for today. As you can see here, this whole box is full of, well, shake the table, of magic cards to go to that charity. This one's full. I have a couple boxes like this behind this box that are full. If you, like me, have too much magic cards and have 27 copies of, Brightwood Tracker here, I would look for that video from the professor and maybe think about sending your access cards to this charity that lets these kids play with these cards. If they're sitting in your collection never being played, then they're not living their full life. It's like Toy Story, right? So I hope you guys have a good one, and I will try to be more regular with these videos as time allots me in this new year.